Hello everyone. So let's start with the first chapter, that is Python revision toward 1. So the first topic is tokens. So what are tokens? Tokens are the smallest individual unit of a program. So if we talk about a program like this program is to check whether the given number is odd or even. So for this, all these single digits like num, equal to, int, modulus, double equal to, 0, print, all are the single units of a program. So these are called tokens. Now tokens are divided into 5 different categories like keywords, identifier, literals, operators and punctuators. So what are keywords? Keywords are the tokens which have a specific meaning, right? It has a special meaning in the programming language. Like for example, break, if, else, continue. These have special meaning in the compiler of a programming language. Then the next is the identifiers. Identifiers are the building block of a program. Like if you talk about the functions, if we talk about the name of the variables, these are the identifiers. And these are case sensitive. So what do you understand by case sensitive? I'll just explain you. Like if I write Python, just increase the size. If I write Python and or all these are different because all these are written in different cases. Like here the P is capital, here all are small, in this all the letters are capital, in this two letters are capital. So this is called case sensitive. So if all these words are different meaning, that means that language takes case sensitivity in its approach. But if all these will be taken together or as a similar word, that language will not be case sensitive. Okay, but Python is a case sensitive language. It takes all these words as different. Then we comes to literal. Now what is literal? Literal is the data items that have fixed value. Like for example, if we declare num equals to 20, so 20 is the fixed value which never changes in the program, so that is literal. If I write name equals to Raghav, so Raghav is the literal for the string. So there are different type of literals. The different types, we'll discuss this later. First let's discuss about the different types of tokens. So what are operators? Operators are the symbols which trigger certain calculation like plus, minus, divide, greater than equals to, less than equals to, and so on. And the last one is punctuator. These are the symbols which organizes the statement of the program, right? Like for example, hash, single quotes, and so on. So let's take an example here. So this is an example. We'll just categorize all different categories of tokens into it. So after the categorization, we have found that, so the red colors are for the keyword, the blue for the identifier, green for the literals, and so on. So you can just see. Okay, num is the identifier. So here it's identifiers, and operators are of pink color. So your modulus, double equals to our operator, then punctuators. Can you see? Hope you have understood. So let me give you one more quick question. Please do this on your own. Categorize each and every word into different categories of tokens. Pause the video for a second. Categorize the things and then resume the video. So after categorization, you'll find this. Okay. You can put all these also again into the blue ones. I have not done it redundantly. Okay, so all these are again your identifiers here. You can find you. Okay. Let's see the next topic, that is naming conventions for identifiers. How does identifier should be named? So I talked about it earlier that what are identifiers? Identifiers are the name of the class, name of the variables or functions. So I would like to suggest that the name of the identifier should be appropriate for what you're using it for. Like if you're using it for as storing the name of the student, so you can just write student underscore name as the name of the identifier. So let's see how do we name them. It can have the alphabets, that is from capital A to capital Z, small a to small z, and underscore, which is optional. If you want to use, you can use it. Only the special character which is used is just the underscore. The name of the identifier should never start with a digit. It can start with the alphabet or underscore. So in board we have different types of questions, so let's discuss it. The first question what we may get is write the type of tokens from the following. So we have learned the 5 categories of tokens. So if is which kind of token? So if is a yes. Any guesses? It's a keyword, right? And role underscore name is a yes. What is it? It is a any guesses? It's a identifier, right? Now let's come to the next question. Identify the valid identifiers. Okay, so you don't have to select which kind of token it is. You have to identify the valid identifiers. That means which out of all these 5 can be used for naming a identifier. So if this is a keyword, but you have to notice that the first letter, that is the first letter is capital. So the keyword always have small letters, right? So this can be categorized as the valid identifier. Else it is a keyword, so this is not. To limit keyword, no. But why it is not as identifier? Because it is starting with a digit, right? Limit underscore for yes, because it is starting with the alphabet and it can have letters and digits, right? As well as underscore. And this is also typical identifier. So this is so out of all these 5, else is not an identifier because it is a keyword, and to limit is not an identifier because it is starting with a digit. Literals are the data item that have fixed value. Like if I write a equals to 10, so the value 10 is the literal. Or if I write name equals to Smita, Smita is the literal. Now literals are divided into various kinds. So the first one is your string literal. Now string literal like name equals to Smita is string, means full of alphabets. So it can be enclosed by single quotes, double quotes as well as triple quotes. There are no character literal in Python. Python allows non-graphic character in string values. Like if you have any non-graphic, that is blank space, underscore, at the rate, all as a string literal. Non-graphic characters are represented using escape sequence like /n for new line, /t for tab space, and /r for carriage return. String are of 2 types in Python. One is single line string and the other is multi-line string. A string which is enclosed within single or double quote is a single line string. And multi-line string can be represented in 2 ways. One, by enclosing in triple quotation marks or by adding backslash at the end of each line. So we'll see the example. So text1 equals to welcome \2 \Kendra Vidyalaya. So this is the example of multi-line string, though it is not enclosed within triple quotes, but it includes \, so it is a multi-line string. The second one, that is text2 welcome to Kendra Vidyalaya, is also a multi-line string as it is enclosed within triple quotes. Now let's talk about the size of the string. That means if these \/ is included, will the size be changed or something like that, right? Now, size of string can be determined by the function called length. So if I write len and in argument we pass on to the string, we get the answer as the length of that text. So if we talk about text3, there are how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we get the answer 8. If we talk about text4, it is 8. Till computer it was 8, then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the answer is 15. The characters are counted. Here your \/ is not counted when it goes to the next line. That is, text4 is your multi-line string. So here the \/ is not counted as a length. In text5 also we will check. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So here we have given one space for computer and science and a new line character. So it gives you 17 as the answer. And text6, we have a \, but it is not a multi-line text. Text6, CS/A. The output is 3. Here it is not counted as multi-line comment. So your \/ will not be counted here. So we can say that in multi-line comment, \/ is not counted, and when we have triple quotes, the EOL character is counted, right? So we have 17 here. Now come to numeric literals. Now numeric literals can be of three types: integer literals, floating point numbers, or complex numbers. So if I write num1 is equal to 2, so 2 is a numeric literal. If pi equals to 3.14, 3.414 is your floating point literal, and complex number, so on. Boolean literals. There are two Boolean literals. One is true and false. Here you need to keep in mind that T is capital in true and F is capital in false. There is a special literal called none, which represents absence of value, that is null value, right? It also indicates the end of the list, and it is a built-in constant literal of